All right, still on those spring meetings, the Board of Governors of the African Development Bank Group has approved the raising of the callable capital of the bank by the sum of $116 billion, which is expected to be raised over the next 2 years as a standby facility to support the various lending of the interventions of the Afdb. Now, speaking with Arise business correspondent Bosun Omofaye in Nairobi, Afdb Vice President in charge of finance and the Chief Financial Officer, Hasato Nsele, also revealed the new security fund state that the DFI is placing before the African Union for approval in due course.
I'm really interested in a summary of the 2023 financial performance of the Afdb. What do you say are the high points of it?
So the financial performance of the bank has been stellar in 2023, and it's a combination of many things. It is the portfolio performance, it is the lending activities that we've had, but also the level of interest rates. We've been able to generate the highest amount of net income ever for the African Development Bank. The African Development Bank is not, our role is to support our countries. So, for example, when we lend to a sovereign, we don't make any profit. We use our AAA rating in order to provide the best cost possible, and we allocate a small portion of our operating costs to these loans. So obviously, in order to be able to do more, to grow, and to also contribute to key development initiatives, we generate income through our private sector portfolio, which is risk-based, and also through the income that we're able to generate from our treasury investments. So this has allowed us not only to reinvest in the African Development Bank, but also to seed, for example, institutions like Africa 50, to provide support to a lower-income country through the African Development Fund, to support as well the African Legal Support Facility, which has been playing an incredible role in supporting countries that have signed contracts that are not necessarily in their favor. So this is why generating income has been important for the African Development Bank to further accelerate and catalyze our impact on the continent.
I'm so excited. In the auditorium, you just announced the approval for a new callable capital for the Afdb Group. What is the size?
So we have overwhelming support from our African members, our non-African members for $116 billion increase in the callable capital of the African Development Bank. So that was tremendous and awesome.
How soon will this fund, the new callable capital, be raised? What will be the modus of raising this new size of fund? How long do you think it will take to bring this capital on board?
So we believe it is going to take about 2 years. Some of our countries need to go through a parliamentary process, so that's how long it's going to take. But the fact that it's been approved already is a step in the right direction, and it's going to help us, maintain or increase our lending trajectory.
$116 billion extra over the next 2 years. What will now be the expected level of capital, of callable capital for the entire Afdb Group in the next 2 years or so?
So please remember, this is callable capital. So it's a kind of security. And it's something that we required because of one credit rating agency in particular that requires us to hold large amounts of callable capital in order to address a specific requirements from a particular credit rating agency. So it's a caution and it's a requirement from a particular credit rating agency.
But you talk about the new security fund. How important is this new fund for the Afdb in your portfolio of existing funds?
So actually, we've been discussing, we've started discussions with our board of directors, and it's a discussion that is going to continue. The president of the bank, President Adesina, also presented that at the African Union, and it's a platform on which we're working and that we're hoping to unveil after the board of directors approves it, and that we'll unveil at the African Union.
What will the new security fund really, what will it be focused on?
Talk about this one.
Okay, that'll be really good. So give me a little bit of an outlook for the current year. Give me a little bit of an outlook for the current year for the Afdb.
the outlook for the current year.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue financial innovation. We're going to continue to leverage our balance sheet in order to increase the financing capacity of the African Development Bank. We are going also to crowding more private sector investors into the continent, both showing, talking with export credit agencies, with insurance, commercial guarantees, in order to to structure our balance sheet further. Basically, for the African Development Bank is continuing the work that we've started on SDR channeling, talking with shareholder, SDR-rich shareholders, so that they can allocate a portion of their SDRs to the African Development Bank, because basically $5 billion of SDRs allocated to the African Development Bank is about $20 billion of additional financing that is being provided to African countries at zero cost to tax holders. So at a time where budgets are constrained, development challenges are increasing, this is a perfect solution.